Hey everyone, what is going on? A lot has happened since I last made a video, and I apologize again for being a little late on it, but I wanted to... I let it go on so far that I just wanted everything to sort of play out with the Bills and their free agent moves, so that's why I decided to wait. And Charles Clay finally came around, which I will obviously talk about. So that was sort of the last piece I was waiting for, and then I thought it would be best to make this video, so here I am. We have a lot to talk about over the past, I don't know, month, 3 weeks or so. 3 to 4 weeks, I guess. This has been a Bills offseason unlike any other. It's the most memorable for me since they signed T.O., and that was an interesting feeling to me, but because I didn't believe it, and there was, this stigma about the Bills, how they just don't make moves like that, and then bam, they come in, they sign Terrell Owens, a star in the NFL, and it just completely caught me by surprise. And that's sort of how I feel, now, but to a much more severe degree, in a good way, obviously. I know that the Mario signing a couple years ago was notable. It was a really big deal. It hasn't drawn the attention. It never drew the attention this has. And, everyone knew the Bills were giving Mario Williams a huge basically $100 million deal, but no one really took it seriously. It's sort of like with T.O. We just got a lot of press coverage for that because of T.O. Right now, the media, people in league circles, GMs, other teams, they're sort of taking the Bills seriously, I think. I think they've drawn credibility by hiring Rex Ryan. They have new ownership in the Pagula family who has clearly shown they're willing to spend the money to make this team better. They spent the money on the coach. They're spending the money on the players. They're using up their cap space. And they've been aggressive up to this point in the free agent period, and it's only been a couple of weeks. They've been aggressive. They had clearly like a checklist of things to do. They went down the list one by one and scratched them all off. This is, like I said, it's just an off season unlike any other. It's a good time to be a Bills fan, that's for sure. And you haven't really been able to say that. I mean, like I said, you've seen things like signing Mario, and we were 8-6 last year, felt good. Then they lose to the Raiders, it's terrible. That was terrible. I don't want to bring that up. I'm sorry I brought that up. It just feels good. We feel relevant, more relevant than we ever have before. The league-wide perception of our organization is altering, or it could be altering. It is becoming an intriguing destination for free agents, for coaches. That you're making that abundantly clear by hiring Rex Ryan. He is being pretty vocal as the Bills head coach. He's back to the old Rex, I would say. And he is attracting free agents. And Doug Whaley is doing an outstanding job as a general manager with all these contracts they're giving out. Like, the Bills are they're restructuring deals, everyone from Craig Urbick to LaShawn McCoy, and they are creating cap space. They're pushing money around. When have they done this before? When have we ever heard of them doing things like this from a financial perspective? Never. They're completely changing the culture, hopefully into a playoff caliber team, because I think they are a playoff caliber team. And I'll get into that because it started 3 weeks ago when they signed LaShawn McCoy. Well, they did sign LaShawn McCoy when they traded for LaShawn McCoy. That was, wow. The Bills traded for LaShawn McCoy, a star running back in the NFL, one of the best, if not the best. Adrian Peterson, Jamal Charles, LaShawn McCoy. Maybe Matt Forte. Who's DeMarco Murray? He's top 5 running back. Don't tell me he's not. Maybe top 3. You could put him in the top 3 because he does things. Who is a better dual threat? Charles, Forte, McCoy. There's your top 3. Dual threat running backs, Charles, Forte, McCoy. Any order you want to do it. Don't argue with me. Or argue with me. Fine. Go ahead. Do it. Listen. I'll talk back. The Bills identified a need at running back. We were thinking that they would address that maybe in the draft. Maybe Todd Gurley, Melvin Gordon, some of the later round guys, Duke Johnson, what have you. They fielded a call from Philly, who was thinking about trying to move LaShawn McCoy, and reportedly in 30 minutes or less, it got done. No more need a running back. We have LaShawn McCoy. Obviously, there were some mixed feelings because they had to trade Kiko Alonso, and there's the whole legend of Kiko thing, and he was a lovable player, and fans loved him. They were devastated when he got hurt last year. I was too. But at the same time, you got LaShawn McCoy. Kiko Alonso's a fine player. He's probably got a very bright future. He's coming off an ACL injury, though. You never know if he's going to be the same. But you just stand to win more games because LaShawn McCoy is on your team than you do because Kiko Alonso is on your team. Basically what I'm saying is a running back like LaShawn McCoy is more likely to win you a game than a linebacker like Kiko Alonso. Like I said, McCoy is a star. And the Bills will win more games because they have LaShawn McCoy than Philly will because they have Kiko Alonso. You want to argue that point? Go for it. And, in 2013 when Kiko was a rookie, granted he could turn into a great player. I mean, I'm of the opinion that he had 6 to 8 good games as a rookie and wore down. He was on the field for every snap. He wore down. Obviously he wore down. It makes perfect sense that he would. But the Bills were 28th against the run in 2013 with Kiko Alonso and Mike Pettin as a DC, basically running a modified version of what Rex does. I would say modified, sort of. And last year, without Kiko Alonso, and of course Jim Schwartz, who ran a different style of defense, they were 11th against the run. So, does that make him an expendable player? Maybe a little bit, right? You have a rookie like Preston Brown, an emerging player like Nigel Bradham, who you can't take off the field because they played so well last year. So, if you see the opportunity to trade Kiko Alonso, who you didn't have last year and were really good on defense, for a position where, did the Bills even have a 500-yard rusher last season? LaShawn McCoy had a down year with 1,300 yards. By the way, don't buy into that. He's 26 years old. He's not near the end of his career. Dude's got a lot of mileage left on him. I just don't buy the fact that, he is... I know he's been in the league, 7 years. He doesn't take a lot of hits because he's very elusive. He doesn't get hit hard, is what I mean. He is, like I said, elusive, shifty, all those kind of things. I just don't see him very often going up in between the guards and getting blasted by linebackers. I think he's fine. He's a game-changing running back, and he will be a game-changer for the Bills. I know that it cost them some money, obviously. He signed the new deal, restructured his cap hit. Again, Doug Whaley just being a genius with the cap situation. But it was something you needed. Now you have a star running back. You get the fullback. You get Jerome Felton to go with him. You're like, okay, well, what are we going to do? The whole ground and pound thing. That's Rex's trademark. We want to run the football. So we're going to get LaShawn McCoy. Well, maybe we should get somebody to block for LaShawn McCoy. We got Richie Incognito earlier in the offseason. We're going to improve our offensive line a little bit. But let's get a fullback for him. Did LaShawn McCoy run with a fullback a lot in Philly? No. Did he run with one at Pitt? Yes. So you get Jerome Felton, who has been a top 6 run-blocking fullback over the past 3 seasons, as per Pro Football Focus. Like I said, we know that Rex and Greg Roman want to run the ball. So they got the running back, they got the guard, they got the fullback. They're trying to improve everything they can to be successful running the football. And they upgraded at every position. They also signed Percy Harvin to a 1-year deal. Percy Harvin has the familiarity with Rex after they claimed him on waivers. Or they traded for him. I'm sorry, they traded for him from Seattle. So, there's that. So obviously that's a vote of confidence from Rex by bringing him in. There's concerns, obviously, about his attitude. To be completely honest with you, I didn't really like him that much at any of his destinations. Is he a terrific player? Sure. With the football in his hands, he is dangerous. I again don't really like didn't really like his character, but hey, I give him a clean slate, man. He is here. He is here to help the team. Adds a completely interesting or new and interesting dynamic to the offense, taking pressure off of Watkins and Robert Woods. And he can play the slot. He can play outside. Like they're going to have a plan for him, and I think they're going to try to get him at least 6 touches a game. So that's what I would think he would do. You're going to pay him up to $6 million. You're going to get him the ball at least 5 to 7 times. He has all the ability in the world to make a difference. Just availability is his only question. He's only played 23 games over the past 3 seasons. So he's on the analysts like to call it the prove-it deal, the 1-year deal. Will he be back in 2016? Who knows? Who cares? He's here now. Let's see what he can do. The Charles Clay waiting game finally came to its conclusion. The Bills front-loaded a deal on an offer sheet that Miami simply couldn't match after signing Ndamukong Suh and knowing that they're going to have to re-sign Ryan Tannehill in a year. Sorry, don't care. You chose to go with the defensive tackle, who will probably be a force in the division for years to come. I get it. But we'll take Charles Clay. Can Charles Clay really live up to the contract he signed? Probably not, because you're not going to see it that way. You're not going to see him blocking. You will see him on the field, don't get me wrong. You're just going to see, why does this guy only have 40 or 50 catches? And what are we paying him so much money for? Trust me, he's a useful player. You're just never going to, visually, aesthetically live up to that contract. But he's the type of player that Greg Roman, loves to use as like an H-back. He can play fullback, tight end, etc. Basically, like Bruce Miller was in San Francisco for him, but he's a way better player than Bruce Miller. Bruce Miller was a fullback, but, split out sometimes. Bruce Miller caught way more passes than times he ran the ball. And Greg Roman loved to run the ball, but didn't really give it to Bruce Miller, ever. Maybe, I would guess that Bruce Miller had less than 10 carries last year, between 5 and 10. He's way more of a pass catcher, and Charles Clay is a versatile player. He's good at catching. He's good at blocking. And he can be used as that fullback. Will he run the ball? I highly, 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 highly doubt it. But he can, there's just so much to game plan for. Oh, there's Clay in the backfield. Is he blocking for McCoy? Is he going to come out and catch a short pass in the flat? There's just a lot. And that's just Charles Clay. There's LaShawn McCoy. There's Robert Woods. There's Sammy Watkins. There's Percy Harvin. There's just so much to game plan for as a defense if you're playing the Bills. Obviously, again, clear that they want to run the football. Teams are going to know that's their tendency. Hey, we want to run the ball. And we think we're better than you up front, so we will do it. Because the main question is, who is the quarterback? The Bills traded for Matt Castle. Can he start? Sure. Is he jumping off the paper at anyone? No, not really. Is a 3-way quarterback controversy between Matt Castle, Tyrod Taylor, and E.J. Manuel a real barn burner, a real thing to watch across the league? Well, maybe a thing to watch across the league because I mentioned this earlier in the video that the Bills, I think, they're undoubtedly playoff caliber. They have one major question mark. It's quarterback, which is a terrible place to have your main weakness. But they're doing their best to surround their quarterback, whoever it is, with talent. And they're going to run the ball. I know I've said that like 100 times. They're going to run the ball and be careful with the football and limit turnovers. I know that sounds so obvious. But they're going to play good defense because they're good on defense. They have the best defensive coach, if not the best defensive coach in football, in Rex Ryan. They have explosive playmakers on offense. At running back, at receiver, at tight end. So they're going to be methodical with the ball. mistake-free, play good defense. Your quarterback is in a situation to succeed with a good defense and good players around him. What could Matt Castle ever have had that was comparable to this? New England, maybe, where he had Randy Moss and Wes Welker. And they went 11-5. Did they make the playoffs? No. But that sounds insane. They went 11-5 and didn't make it. Are you going to take 11-5? Like, you can't blame the Bills if they go 11-5 and miss the playoffs, right? They go 11-5. They won over 60% of their games. That's just what I want to do. I don't know if Matt Castle is going to be the quarterback. I think E.J. Manuel is going to be given every chance to win that job. But it could very well be Castle. I don't really have a favorite right now. I don't. I think that E.J. is worth trying again, but clearly you're set up to win now. So it's important. You know, Greg Roman tends to tailor his offense to his quarterback. He rejuvenated Alex Smith's career. He got Kaepernick to the Super Bowl and then to the NFC Championship literally within one throw. If he puts, 12 more inches on that throw, Richard Sherman doesn't tip it to Malcolm Smith, and the 49ers are probably in the Super Bowl against the Broncos. So let's see what he can do with either Matt Castle. Maybe he can rejuvenate Matt Castle. Maybe he can rejuvenate E.J. Manuel. That's the big question mark. Again, sucks to have your question mark there, but this is a good team with good coaching, good ownership, and a good front office, which we haven't been able to say a lot. They re-signed Jerry Hughes. They're still a little thin at linebacker. Maybe they want to re-sign Brandon Spikes, but they traded Alonso, but they got LaShawn McCoy. They're making moves. They're getting better. You can feel it. You can feel the excitement. They've already sold over 3,000 more season tickets. Guys, I want to hear what you have to say about this situation, what you're excited about, what concerns you. There's a lot of the same faces on defense, a lot of new faces on offense, and that was where we struggled last year. So this is big. This is a big year. That sounds so stupid. It sounds so cliche. This is a big year for the Bills. The division's getting better. The Dolphins got Sue. They got Kenny Stills, traded Mike Wallace. The Jets got Brandon Marshall and Revis and Cromartie and Buster Screen. It's going to be, and everyone's chasing New England, obviously, the champs. Sucks to say, but they are. Let me know what you think, guys. Hit me up on Twitter. My name is the same as my username for YouTube. We'll talk. I answer just about everybody. Hit me up on here. As always, go Bills.